Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode. Have you ever said something like, "He made me angry"? That email ruined my day. If people weren't so rude to me, I would be calm. Most of us live with an unspoken belief. My reactions are caused by what happens to me. But if that idea is actually the biggest trap we live in, let us think about a powerful mindset called the export rule. And it can completely change the way you see stress, conflict, and emotional control. We live in a culture that constantly teaches us to think like this. Bad traffic causes bad mood. Difficult boss in the work makes me angry. Rude comments from my peer makes me frustrated. We assume emotions are imported from outside, like we are emotional containers and other people are pouring things into us. But here is the uncomfortable truth. External events don't create your reactions, they only reveal them. And this is what psychology calls internal locus of control. The understanding that the source of our emotional life is primarily inside us, not outside. And this is incredibly the good news because if the problem is inside, then the power is inside too. There is a famous principle in psychology called stimulus response gap. Between stimulus and response, there is a gap. And in that gap lies our freedom. Someone insults you, and that is the stimulus. But between their words and your reactions, there is a tiny invisible space. And in that space, you choose anger or calm, patience or revenge, wisdom or impulsiveness. Most people never notice that gap, and they live on autopilot. But emotionally mature people learn to live inside that gap. And let us come back to our main topic, the export rule. And here we have an orange test to understand this theory little more easily. Imagine I am holding an orange in my hand. And now imagine I squeeze that orange as hard as I can. What comes out? Of course, orange juice. But here is the most important question. Why did orange juice come out? Most people would answer, because you squeezed it so hard. But that is not really true. The squeeze didn't create the juice. The squeeze only revealed what was already inside. If lemon juice had been inside, lemon juice would have come out. This is exactly how human emotions work. Life squeezes you. A rude comment, a stressful meeting, a frustrating driver, a difficult family member. But the squeeze doesn't create what comes out of you. It only exposes what is already living inside. So when pressure hits and anger comes out, It is not because of the pressure, it is because anger was inside. When pressure hits and patience comes out, it is not because the situation was easy. It is because the patience was inside. This is called the export rule. You don't import your reactions, you export them. The outside world is the excuse. Your inner world is the juice. So, the real question in stressful moment is not, why is this happening to me? The better question is, what is this situation revealing about me? Every excuse of life is simply showing you what you had been storing in your heart. And the good news is this: if you don't like what keeps coming out, you can change what you keep putting in. And this turns a very frustrating situation into a training ground for growth. You stop being a victim of circumstances and you become a student of your own reactions. This idea is nothing new. In the Gospel of Mark, chapter 7, verses 14 to 23, Jesus says something very radical. He explains that what truly shapes a person is not comes from outside, but what comes from within. In other words, defilement is not imported, it is exported. Anger, bitterness, pride, cruelty, these don't enter us from the world. They flow out of the heart. The message is, the real source of your life is inside you. External events pass through you like food through the body. They don't define you. What defines you is what you choose to produce and export. It is not them, it is you. It is actually incredibly empowering because it means you are not helpless. You are not controlled by other people. You are not a prisoner of your any circumstances. You are the author of your responses. When you change what you export, your entire experience of life changes. So try this new mindset. Stop saying, they ruined my day. Start saying, I choose what comes out of me. Guard your inner world. Shape your responses. Own your reactions. Because real peace doesn't come from controlling life. It comes from learning to control yourself. Friends, if this perspective helped you, subscribe to the Elevator Lens for more practical reflections on mindset and inner growth. Thank you for watching.